with him, and Lisa is my sponsor. I want to absolutely get him on the phone with Lisa the first chance I can, right? Because she's impressive, and I know she is, and it doesn't matter who your upline is. You go for whoever it is that you know is working the business and knows what they're doing. So I'm going to use that third-party validation and get her on the phone with him as quickly as possible. Sign up your prospects, welcome calls, create duplication. What we've told everybody in our system, basically what we do is, if you have somebody that's just starting, you want to introduce them to 3 people minimum in their training team, in your upline. You're not necessarily, if they're new and they've never been in the industry before, you certainly don't want to say upline. You want to say part of my training team, part of my leadership team, part of my mentor team, anything that you want to say that sounds really good. But then you want to learn the power, and we're going to talk about that in a minute, of how to edify her. So we'll be talking about that in a minute. But
one thing that I just want to add is when I'm thinking about who I'm going to use for a 3-way call, I always try and think about who I'm talking to, who I'm prospecting. And like a lot of times, an expert, they might be a sideline to you. You know, it might be someone that's your equal, you know, that signed up even after you signed up on your team. But they may also have something in common with that person. I think it's really important to get that connection. If you get someone on the phone with me that is really like quiet and shy, and they might not like me, because you know I'm a little high energy, and that's just who I am, and I get so excited sometimes I just get going crazy, you know, talking. And so I think sometimes it's better to really match. And we have a gentleman that was supposed to be here today, John Creek. Many of you know and love him. He talks slower. He's very smart. He's a great trainer. But his personality and my personality are 2 different deals. And so I think that's really important to think about. Also, men, I think I really try very hard to get a man expert when I'm recruiting a man, because I think there's a little bit of power in that for them.
Absolutely. This happened just yesterday. A girl was, I'm not sure if she's here today, but she called me and she goes, Mindy, I can't get this other gal that I sponsored to put anybody on a 3-way call. She said, I'm not going to do it. And she said, so what I decided to do is I'm going to call you, and I'm going to call her. And she said, and then I'm going to make her get that person on the phone, so it's a 4-way. And she said, so we're going to do that. And she made her do it. It was funny because it was just, and after the end, it was a great call. I'm not sure if she's actually here or not today, but she was supposed to be. But anyway, it was just fun because she didn't want to do it. She refused to do it. But they're powerful. They're incredibly powerful, because if it's all about me, then my whole business dies with me. If I bring her to the table, then it opens up a little bit more for someone. Because if Jason knows me and I'm introducing and I'm telling him about this business, and let's just say I really don't know what I'm talking about, and he knows I don't know what I'm talking about. When I bring my sponsor to the table, they go, oh, okay, I like that. I like the information I'm hearing. 3-ways are very powerful.
I wish I was your sponsor. Okay, and just one thing too, if you don't know how to actually do a 3-way on your phone, I think that this graphic is here for a very good reason, because it's very common. I had no clue how to do one until we started doing these. And so on your phone, and most of them are exactly the same, if you're talking to somebody and you pull your phone away from your ear and you look at the graphics on there, like I know on an iPhone, the lower left says add call. And so while you're talking to that person, you just say, we'll pretend like we're going to do a call, okay? So I am talking to my prospect right now. And I would say, okay, Judy, I'm so excited that you're excited. You've got some questions for me, but I'm going to call in my sponsor, Mindy Anderson. She has been in a little bit longer, and she knows more than I know, and she can really help us get some of these questions answered. So hold on a second. I don't say to her, will you let me call in somebody? I don't ask her. I inform her that I'm going to get Mindy on the call. Because if you ask them, they'll go, oh, no, I'm fine. Right? Because they don't want to do that. That's scary. They don't want to do that. So I just say, hold on a second, I've got someone that can answer your questions for you. She's been a little bit longer, she has a little bit more knowledge, and she's going to help us both out. Hold on a second, boom. And then you hit add call, okay? And when you hit add call, then I hit Mindy's phone number. And then her phone rings, and she answers. My other gal can't hear me now. Mindy answers her phone and says, hi, and I say, okay, I've got her on the phone. Her name is Judy. She, she's a lawyer, but she wants to stay home with her kids, and I think you guys will really connect, and I'm going to click over. Is that okay? And then she'll say, okay. So then I hit that same box that was add call turns to merge call. And I click that merge call. See, now it's going to look like that, merge. I click that one, and then we're all three there. But the most important thing is I have to get myself out of the way. So what I would do is I would say, hey, Judy, I'm so excited. I have my upline, Mindy, on the phone, and she has been in Nerium for 16, going on 17 months. She has a huge organization. She runs the Kansas City market. And I'm just so happy to introduce her. She's done an amazing job, and you're just going to love her. So here you go, Mindy. This is Judy. And then I let her know. I say, I'm going to mute out and listen and learn. So she understands that she doesn't have to know everything either if she's new, but she can also do the same calls. Then I mute my phone and let the expert talk to my person. I do not. Now this happens a lot. I do not jump in and interrupt and add my own things. As soon as I do, that de-edifies my expert. That makes my gal think, oh, well, Lisa thinks she knows something and more than her expert. I keep silent until my expert says, okay, well, it's been so nice talking to you. I'm glad we got some questions answered. We'll bring Lisa back on, that type of thing. Did you want to add to that? Or?
I was going to say, some people call it the tape program. They put a piece of tape over your mouth. Once you start talking too much, you kind of buy it all back, right? And the most important thing, I think, is that she was telling you, you got to give the person a reason to listen to the other person. Because there's nothing worse, is there? And we're all scared, we're all nervous. But when I say, Lisa, this is Jason. Jason, this is Lisa. Boom. What has she got? She's got nothing to work with. He has no reason to listen to her because I haven't edified her. So learn some bullet points on how to edify. Just like she said, she edified me incredibly well, and it gives that other person something to listen to. It makes me sound like I'm the expert, right?
So this just talks about what we just basically covered, actually, I think we did good. Listen and take notes only, and that's the other thing. We learn from each other, all of us, every single day. I learn from everyone I talk to, and so make sure you're also taking notes when your expert's talking, because you're probably going to be the expert next time. Okay, Mindy.
I was going to say also texting someone when it's hard to do when you're on the phone and you're like, oh, I think I'm going to be able to do a 3-way call, right? Text somebody. Like there's one gal. Where is Heather Flanagan? I love what she does. Yeah, way in the back. She texts like 3 people all at once and says, getting ready to do a 3-way call, who's available? I love that. Because then, you'll have 3 different people go, me. Then she knows, hey, I'm good to go, right? I love that.
Go right ahead.
Okay, so attend a live event. That's what you're at. Isn't this exciting when you attend a live event? We get to know each other. We help each other. As we get to know each other better, we learn from each other. We're building relationships. And it's not just within our teams, it's within other teams. Because a lot of times there's miscommunications. People think that, sometimes when you talk to somebody on an email or, you just think you know them, there's miscommunications. And when we get to build those relationships together, I remember when we were in Cabo, I said some magic happened because there were some people that we are now getting ready to go into. Carolyn Sand is one and her team. Edie McBean, there's a big group here, and there's like 30 to 40 of them. And who's a part of Carolyn Sand's team in here? Yay! We were able to have a really good conversation and try to put together, just like with Lisa and her team, let's get together on a Tuesday night. Is it more fun to come on a Tuesday night with 5 people in a room? In a little local house or something, or bond together and get to know each other and try to run it bigger. There's timing for everything. Sometimes you have to grow your group separately. And it's kind of like right now, I'm getting ready to go to New York at the end of the month. We're not announcing it to the public. We're just going down there to help our team get stronger so that they can begin to build a system. But then it'll be public, and then everybody's welcome to come. But that's the power of it. I know that when you come and your team starts plugging in, and Carolyn Sand's team plugs in, and ours does, I know immediately we're going to be at 75 minimum. So is that more fun to bring a guest to? It's much more fun.
Oh, yeah.
Shows the bigger picture. You learn the presentation. And we go from event to event because momentum, as they say, hardest thing to get, hardest thing to keep, and the easiest to lose. So when you're in momentum, and we're in momentum, I mean, you've been in momentum ever since you started, and same here. I mean, we've just been in momentum, moving up. Because look at this, it's exciting. And I remember we were so, like, I don't know, I hate to say jealous, but we were jealous because the first event you had, and you popped it on Springfield, and they were like, what? Their first event, they had 400 people? Oh my gosh. It was great. Because
Our first event, we had Jeff Olson.
Yeah, but it was great for us
That's
because
not
it was
fair.
like, we've got to beat that. Not that we're competitive.
No, competition's good. It fuels all of us.
Yeah.
And remember when Mark said to us when we were at one of our meetings, I think it was in Las Vegas again, there were 6,000 people in the room. And he said, you guys, this is all you need right here. I could open those doors and you guys could leave with everything you needed to go home with because it's the excitement in the room. It's being around your peers. Doesn't matter what team they're on. We're all on the Nerium team. And it's about being all those people with the energy and the excitement, and you feel it, and you realize you're on this cause, this great fun ride with all these people going in the same direction, and it makes you forget about any negativity that you might have had out in your marketplace. And that's why you need to be here, because it fuels you forward every single time. It's the people, again, that unplug from the events and the calls that lose that enthusiasm, and then we lose them.
Hey, one thing on this events page, does everybody know how to use the events? New people might not. What you want to do is in your back office, when you log into your back office, there's a page, there's an icon at the bottom. What I like to tell people is the icons at the bottom are so important. They're found in the tabs up at the top, but they're also so important that they put little icons for them at the very bottom. So there's an events icon at the bottom, click it, and it takes you immediately to the events page. I tell people, just put in the state to see what's going on in the state, because if we put in Kansas, then we're going to find Wichita, Kansas, is on there. We've got several other places. Are you guys listed yet as a public? Okay, so you'll find all the public things that are going on just for Kansas, and then you can say to someone, Carrie, are you closer to this? Are you closer to that? And she'll go, yes, yes, no. That's how you work the events page, and then it just isolates it and makes it, because my gosh, is it just jam-packed full of events all over the country.
That's awesome. Well, and when you have brand partners that you're sponsoring in other cities and other states, and they say to you, oh, well, I'm so far away from anybody, if you really get in there and do some research, everyone's probably at least an hour or two away from an event now, and we're going to keep growing more and more leaders and have more and more events so that everybody can be plugged in somewhere. So, good. Okay, ready?
Fast Start Game Plan. I didn't know what that was before. Some of us oldies, we didn't know what a Fast Start Game Plan was. It was just like, go. Start sponsoring people. Just get that out there, just like Lisa did. She had amazing success just by going. One thing I'd like to say is when I started, Jason told you a little bit about it, I came with some baggage. I actually came with baggage. I had tried to believe in 3 other companies, and I was successful. I was a 6-figure income earner in the first company that I had ever joined, and it took me 3.5 years to hit 6 figures. As I like to say, when you know better, you do better, right? And so I left that company after 7.5 years and had a series of events that taught me a lot. And I'm thankful for all of those events. However, when I came into this, I had a discipline in my DNA from being in this industry. It's about action. She took action because she was so excited. I took action because I had to make $3,000 a month now. I mean, I was like, I have to have money now. And I believed what I saw, but I didn't really believe it. Do you know what I'm saying? Some of you are probably in the same boat where you're like, well, I think I can do it. Well, I think I believe it. But you're still testing the waters. What I did is I got on the phone, because nothing happens if you don't take action. And I got on the phone and I told several people about it. It blew me away. 4 people joined. Only 4 joined me in my first month. But so who cares? It's your story, right? You're writing your own story. And it's the Fast Start game plan is take action. That's what I want you to understand. It's you got to take action. Don't analyze. Don't overanalyze. We've got the whole Fast Start game plan here, which is determine their why. Lisa, what's your why?
You want me to tell you my why?
I would love it.
Well, my why has changed, but when I first started, my why was to fill those hours in that empty spot when my daughters both were gone for college. But my why now is to help everybody that I can have financial freedom and enjoy their life as much as I enjoy mine with Nerium.
Great. My why, a long time ago, when I first started in multi-level marketing, which is 11 and a half years ago, my daughter, my late in life child, which is 19 years after my other last child, which is my favorite thing to say, she was born very ill, and she was sick all the time. I had to find a way to make money at home. And so network marketing was the only thing that could replace my corporate income. And that's my why. Now guess what? My little girl is now 13 years old. She wants to dance in a premier dance team. Do you know how much money that is?
Yes. Yes.
Because me and Clifton had a talk, and I was like, this is not what I'm used to. It's a lot of money, and I have not had a lot of money all my life. I grew up lower middle class. I never got to do all those things. It's not been wired into me that we do things like this, okay? And so when she wanted to do it, and when she came to me and she goes, Mommy, when I dance, I feel like I can fly. She's in the premier dance classes, okay? And I want you to know that that's one amazing thing that I am so thankful I can do. Guess what my next why is? I cannot stand human trafficking. I hate it. And I am getting ready to take a class, so I am going to be a speaker in public schools to help children not be victims of human trafficking, of predators, okay? Right. So that is my why, and it makes me cry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
You go ahead.
So what we want to do is talk them through their list. When someone starts with Nerium, that's when they have the least confidence and they think they don't know anybody, and you have to be the one that shows them how many people that they know. So you go through, you sit down, you get their why, you get their list. You just go through everyone, you help them jog their memory, and there's a memory jogger in there also. But it's just your job to help them understand how many people that they know. Think about, I'm still coming up with people like that Tiffany gal I was talking about that I didn't even think about, that I went to college. She was my college roommate, but I hadn't seen her since I left California 24 years ago. And so anyway, you just have to use that list and help them do that. 10 and play. A lot of people don't really understand how this works, and I think the most important thing here is you want to help your new brand partner get their first 10 contacts out there. Whether it's 10 emails, like sit down with them and say, let me show you how in our back office to send 10 emails to your 10 best people on your list. Or let's get your list out and let's get some magazines and some envelopes and let's send out 10 magazines. Or let's go get in the car and drive 10 magazines out. It's just basically getting them in the process of doing the high payoff activities that are going to make them their money back and get them going and get them rolling. Do you want me to keep going? Okay. So you want to book your first RRP. I've always been the party girl because I did my jewelry business, and I'm really comfortable getting people to real results parties. And I think the really important part about that for me is letting them know what exactly they're being invited to. So what I tell my new brand partners is this. I tell them to tell their friends, and you might have heard this on Nerium University, I tell them to tell their friends that I want them to get together and help me celebrate a project that I've been working on that I'm super excited about. Come over, have a glass of wine, leave your checkbook at home. I tell everyone that. Okay, first of all, we don't want their checkbook, we want their credit card, right? And nobody leaves their credit card at home anymore. So it takes the pressure off. And the key here in today's world is we want to take the pressure off of them before they let the pressure be their why they don't want to come. So I say, leave your checkbook at home, come over, have a glass of wine. I want you to hear about what I'm doing. And if it's not for you, I don't care. I want you to know because you're my friend, and you might know someone that it is for. So what have you done? You've taken the money pressure off. You've taken the fact that you're not after them, okay? People will get this thing in their mind. I had it. I was approached 1,000 times before. When you sell something, I know you know this, when you sell something, people go for you. I mean, everybody wanted me to sell every single thing under the sun when I had my last business. And I would say, no, 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 no. I mean, I had all these walls up because I just knew I didn't want to do anything else. And I really didn't. And I honestly am so grateful that I was open to Nerium. I don't even know how that happened. But I just think that people have their blocks up. So if you take the pressure off of them and say, this may not be for you, but you are my friend, and I want you to know what I'm doing. I want you to know what's going on in my world, the excitement of this company, and you may know someone that does need this business or does need this product, and you might want to just try the product too, because you're getting old and wrinkly. No, I'm kidding. I don't usually say that, but some of my friends I did, but not all of my friends. So you want to book that first RRP, and I suggest to new brand partners, book 2. Don't just book 1. If you're going to clean your house, have 2 parties, right? Don't just have 1. I mean, we all know that trick. I mean, seriously, if you're going to have to go through all that work and make some hors d'oeuvres, why not have a backup party? So what you can do is invite people and say, listen, come over Tuesday, and they say, oh, I'm busy. Then come Thursday. I've got Thursday too, and do 2 parties, and then you do 2 RRPs. They get really broken into how to do an RRP. Their friends have 2 options, and their friends have the pressure off. And Tammy Smith always says, and I swear, I have the hardest time doing this with a straight face, but she says, when the day that you're calling them the day before to remind them of the party, she says, have them bring a bag of ice. Because if they're bringing the ice, they're not going to not show up, right? Because you need ice for your drinks. And Tammy says, oh, you can end up with a whole bathtub full of ice, but at least everybody shows up. But I don't know. I don't know if you can do that. I can't do it. I just start laughing too hard when I tell people to bring the ice. But my girlfriends, I have to bring the wine because I know if they're coming, they better bring their own bottle of wine. So, you go ahead.
And not the $2 chuck.
No.
$2 chuck's good. I don't know if you are familiar with it.
It's Trader Joe's, right?
Trader
We're
Joe's.
actually getting Trader Joe's in Springfield. Finally, everything comes to us like 3 years after everybody else. And we're finally getting a Trader's, but I've never tried the $2 chuck.
Okay, well, it's actually really good. Okay. You know, one thing I want to mention about the 8-point system, the 8-point system is the first time I heard it, I was like, cheesy. I just will be honest. I thought cheesy. You know what it does for somebody who's busy? You know, Carrie, what did she say? She has 2 franchises. You know, anybody that has kids, you got so much on your plate, it takes the minutia out of saying, what should I do? Oh my gosh, that's why it says introduce the 8-point system. Do it right off the bat and say, you don't have to think about anything. Take the 8 points, put it in front of you, and if you get 8 points a day, you're moving your business forward because what it's telling you to do is the simple things that people don't have to think about. When I have to think about stuff, everybody says, what do I do? What do I do? Well, you got to take action. What kind of action? Oh my gosh, it's right there on the 8-point system, right? So I love that 8-point system. It's brilliant. What's interesting is I've seen other people now introducing it in other companies, and I thought, oh, man, it was brilliant.
Yeah. Well, and you know, the 8-point system, it's the stuff that you're doing. You know, you get to a certain point where, and I think it's still a good idea to track it because you can really see if you're doing the right activities during your 8-point thing. You've got to track it every day to see that. But what I've learned is my 8 points turn into 16 points a lot of days because I'm working it so consistently over time, and I'm so used to being in those activities that if you're not in those activities, then you start to feel weird. It's like creating a habit. You know, do your 8-point system so good for 21 days, and it becomes a habit, and then you'll never not do it. And that's what they're after with this company is consistency and persistency over time. What he says. So.
Take action and move your business forward. Who had a 20-point day within the last week? Oh,
Nice.
which would you prefer, this or this? I'll throw it at you. Or this. It's a light, so you can stay up late at night and work your business.
I like
Okay,
it.
sorry about that. Who's had who's the highest in the last week? Who's had over 20? In the last week, you. Anybody else? Okay, people, I've got 2 more treats left. Who wants them? Come on up. If you want a treat for doing the work, I got 2 more treats. I just love doing stuff. It's cheesy. I cleaned out my closet. If anybody was here last Christmas, I'm going to do it again. It's not bad stuff, but I just cleaned it out to give out fun things. Here you go. In fact, hey, would you rather have that? Okay, see? Anybody else, just come on up and grab it. All right, thank you. I just like to have fun.
I have a question about the 8 points, because I've been doing 2 different things. Somebody told me part of your pay is earned by the 8 points, and somebody told me that you don't get paid by the 8 points.
Get it, girlfriend. Yeah, it's to keep you on track so you can earn your pay, actually, because you will get paid if you do those 8 points a
But
day.
you don't get paid from doing the 8 points.
No, right.
Not yet.
Yeah, no kidding. Might be a guarantee on that soon.
Yeah, we'll talk about that later on if you go to the Baltimore Bash. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so this new brand partner training video is in the back office, and again, I will, if I'm sitting with someone in a training and they've not watched it, a lot of times I'll just turn it on and say, hey, you watch it, then we'll talk, because everyone needs to watch the new brand partner training in the back office, and so don't forget about that we have that back there. Training parties. Okay, Minnie, thank you so much for joining me up here. Give her a round of applause. Amazing leader. Nerium University, who's doing these in their area? Okay, oh, excellent. You guys, it is such a fun way to get together and to train and to role play after you watch Nerium University. They always give you role playing ideas. It builds culture and it's super fun. A lot of times, like I said, we'll do a theme at my house or we'll get together. I've unfortunately been traveling a lot on Mondays, but we always encourage our other teams. And when I say have your team over, if your team is one person, awesome. Go to Panera and plug it on. Turn it on at 5 o'clock and watch Nerium University and enjoy it together. And then you can talk about the different aspects of it. Real results parties, I kind of started about that a second ago. I'll go through. This is actually what you do at the party. So we talked a little bit about how I get people to the parties. And then once they're there and they come in your living room and you want to say an introduction, you want to make sure that you have everything ready. Make sure you know how to work your TV, DVD, because I've made that mistake before. And make sure if you're going to use any of that type of equipment, you understand how it works and have it already done and ready. Make sure that you're rolling the neat pictures they have at the beginning of the Real Results Party that show the people with their cars and with their iPads. It's very powerful, and I always have that playing in the background. And then once you do your kind of like hello and welcome and introduce if you have any experts in the room. And then what I do is this. And again, I know, my friends kind of know I'm kind of brash and I will say anything. And I will tell my friends to get their drink and to sit their rear ends down and to listen. I'm like, listen, guys, I know how much you like to talk, but we can talk all the time, but I need you to watch this video. And if they're not your close friends, just say, okay, you guys, get whatever you want to eat or drink and have a seat. We're going to watch a very light, fun presentation video done by experts in our company, our top income earners. They know what they're doing. They're a lovely, beautiful, family-oriented couple. And I tell them, I kind of give them a thing, and I say, but here's the deal. Everything you need to know is in that video, because it is. It's excellent. And I'll say, it's about 20 minutes long. I fudge a little bit on the time. And I'll say, but so if you don't mind giving it your attention for me during this 20 minutes, and enjoy whatever you're eating and drinking. And then afterwards, we'll get up, we'll mingle, we'll talk, we'll laugh, we'll be done. And I tell them that in advance, because as soon as you don't tell them that in advance, the lights go down, the video goes on, and what happens? Everybody starts talking. So very important that you, just like when you take people to bottles, you just got to do your job up front and educate them, and then they will do exactly what you want. Then have people share their results. Always grab a few people in the room that have been using Nerium to pop up if you have before and after pictures, awesome, or share your own personal results. Sign up the new brand partners and new customers that are ready to sign there that night. And then have people take the Nerium experience home with them if they were just there looking and hadn't tried the product yet. Give them a magazine or a bottle to take home. And then schedule parties for the new brand partners for their RRPs, or schedule the new 3-in-your free parties for any customers that you signed on. This is so important that people get this. It's very simple, but you do not have to have a formal party to call it an RRP. You can get together. I do a lot of one-on-ones with people. In fact, most everyone I signed on my first month signed on because I met with them in person. Because I was too excited to wait for the RRP, and I didn't really know what it was. So I just would go meet with people. I'd meet them wherever they were. I'd say, I'll meet you at coffee, or I'll come to your house, or come to my house. And I did a lot of one-on-one stuff. There was just like an RRP. I was showing them everything I knew from the computer in the back office, but it was a one-on-one in my home or in their home. But also an RRP can be at Panera. It can be in a restaurant. It can be anywhere you want it to be. So just make sure you're not worrying too much about that. Your market parties, which are usually once a week in your area. In Springfield, we have them also like you guys. We have them on Tuesday nights. And they're super fun and lively, and everyone's invited. It's anyone in the market. It's wide open for everybody. And so that's where you want to send your people to plug them in. And then, of course, your 3-in-your free. The weekly points. We talked a lot about this already, but you can see how you can easily get a 40-point week by doing your 8 points a day. The 8-point tracker. Has anyone ever used this? Okay, oh good, good. A lot of people are using it, awesome. Well, it's just an amazing way to track your points on your phone and wherever you are, and that's just one more way to keep track of that you're doing the right activities for your business. I'm going to fly through a couple things because I don't want to get behind. Mindy was talking a little bit about this too, these different icons, but you can see their updated communication center. Our back office is only going to get better. Just keep growing with us. I always say to the team, if anyone has frustration with anything, I'm like, here's the deal. Would you rather have a no wait when you call customer service, or would you rather be with the #1 fastest growing company of all times in multi-level marketing? I'm like, just put it in perspective. We're going to have some growing pains, and if we didn't, then we wouldn't be growing, right? So this is incredible what they've done. It's getting better and better. They change stuff all the time, and so just keep watching and learning and utilizing everything that you can in the back office. Our Young Entrepreneur Program, like you heard earlier, this is the #1 biggest category of people joining our company. And that tells us we need to be talking to the young entrepreneurs because they're eager, they're open to it. And we have this great program now where they are giving us different things that really relate to them. Like I said a while ago, I wasn't a computer child. I'm 45 years old. I didn't have a cell phone until I'd been married for 5 years. I know that's crazy. But, we come from a different age. And I had not sent an email until, 10 years ago. Crazy stuff like that my kids go, oh my gosh, you're like a dinosaur. I'm like, I know. But this is the deal. These young entrepreneurs, 18 to 24, they get it. They've grown up with it. They were like 5 years old going, you need to come in Tokyo, And so here we have all this stuff for them and support and words that they get, connections that they have, and they are going to do so well. Do you know why? Well, we have a lot of reasons why. Do you know why one of the big reasons why we are the fastest growing multi-level company ever?
Because of our social media.
Because of our social media. That's why. Amway didn't have it when they started. All those other companies that are so huge and successful, they didn't have what we have. So we're blowing up the scene. And a lot of it has to do with all of these things. So it's a great program. My daughter that's 21, what she does as a when they say, well, how do I sell this product? I tell the young entrepreneurs, I'm like, you know what, here's the thing. You do it just like anybody else does it. You just tell them, say, I've got this amazing, company and product, and you can win a car. I tell them to pump up the prizes. Because that's what drew in Megan and her friends. When I said, when she drove back to University of Arkansas in a brand new Lexus, that little cute round SUV one, I don't know what it's called, but she drove back and I stuck the Nerium sticker on the back and she drove back there. Her friends, they were like, what? Where did this car come from? They freaked out. Well, that's how she got people signed up, because they freaked out and got excited, and then they wanted to know how it happened. And she's like, well, I got this iPad too.
All right, quick question. How are you approaching the yupper with an age-fighting product?
Well, I approach yuppers with the opportunity. And, I kind of have, and I certainly don't mean to like discriminate, because I know there are yuppers that have moms that, like, I'm a yupper mom. I would be open if my daughter said, we have yuppers in our life. And the yuppers have aunts, and they have uncles, and they have brothers, and, people that are older that may have that starting. I also mentioned to yuppers that it also gets down to the emerging lines, so you'll be protecting your skin, from future wrinkles that can come. But I do most often than not with the younger generations, I approach them with the iPad and the car and the financial future that you can build for yourself, a residual income. A lot of times, same thing, it's a little bit discriminatory, but when I'm talking to men or businessmen, I approach them with the business, because I feel like that is more attractive to them than the skincare. You heard today, there's people that just wouldn't look really at the skincare thing. I know T's been in town. He's talked to you guys up here. His story is so good. He's the big football coach from Hawaii, the big Samoan that's so funny and fun. Well, when someone first told him it was skincare, he's like, I can't sell skincare. I'm a huge guy, huge Samoan football coach. Who's going to buy skincare from me? But I think that's why you kind of gear your presentation about Nerium to who you're talking to. So the yuppers, I would definitely do that. I don't know, are you guys doing a yupper meeting in Kansas City yet? Okay. And we can talk about it for your Tuesday night market party, but what we're doing down in our area, we just added like a yupper section. We were going to do we did two separate meetings for a while, having a yupper, a young entrepreneur meeting, and then also having a regular market party. But now what we're going to do is we're combining it, and we're going to actually have some yuppers come up and give their own personal testimonials on Tuesdays. And that way the young people in the group, and then they can break off and answer any questions afterwards. And we have a couple gals that are running the YUP program in Springfield. So just something to think about in your area. So they can actually hear from some of the young entrepreneurs that are having success with the company.
I'm sorry. Can you explain to me what's the difference between the upper? I know it's for the younger people, but they get the same success tag.
Really the only difference is they're plugging them into their own tools that actually they can talk through and relate better, right? And they have like these different programs, they have the video, social media, but there isn't a different price point or anything like that with the yuppers. It's just plugging them into their own group, which also kind of makes them feel maybe special, because they just feel like they have their group. I know some of the yuppers in Springfield are all really close, and they have a lot of fun, and they're the ones that go out a lot later than the rest of us, after some of the events and stuff, and they really have built a nice deal going on.
So, if you have a 25-year-old son, he can't really get it yet when he needs to be a...
He really can. They're not gonna say if you're over 24 you can't, because we have people that go into our meeting, our market party for the yuppers, that have yuppers that they want to talk to, so they just go in and listen to the yupper meeting. So it's really fine.
It's kind of suggested that
It is.
Okay.
It is. Yeah, those are good questions. Okay, recognition. Before we start with recognition, I